the humor is, then I'll talk to you, another day and go, but nothing's happened.
Right.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Or I will talk to you and say, but Elaine,
I know.
what's happening?
But it did, Yeah, it's a conundrum, which it all boils back to essence and oneness, and the fact that there's only that's all there is, and there's only ending upon ending until you're free, and that's being able to step out of the matrix. And that whole subject scares the bejeebers out of people. And you know what, Monette? I figured out how we keep in the matrix this week. It's like, whoa. And I wondered whether I was supposed to share it, but I'm going to share it. Many people won't understand it. Do your best, guys. Do your best. Here's how we step out of the matrix. And if you want to step out of it, you have complete liberation. You have cosmic expansion and consciousness. And the only way to do that is to be only present. Case closed. Full stop. Nothing else.
Got it. Present.
So if you're looking to think, oh my God, yesterday was a disaster. I'm scared of the future. You will be remaining in the matrix. And that's the only way you will have reincarnation. Because I've been searching and searching. Why do some of the mystics say there is no such thing as reincarnation? And I get it. There actually isn't, unless you are locked into time and space.
Oh, okay. That energy of fear that you talk about that I feel is very pervasive right now, you advising not to buy into that makes so much sense, because it's so easy to buy into the matrix and be worried. And I have found myself in recent weeks caught up with all of the politics and everything, thinking, what's going on? The sky is falling, very Chicken Little, and the sky isn't falling.
Well, I'll take it one better. What sky?
Touche.
Yeah. A few years ago, I went down the sky is falling pathway, and I have to now be very careful, because now I really get it. There's no sky, and this is a place where people are coming to learn about the matrix, meaning place called Earth, and as long as they're operating in a certain conditioned thinking pattern, they will stay in the matrix. But once in a while, someone will swim free of the matrix and then come and share. I think Eckhart Tolle is swimming free of it, because he at least he speaks of staying in the now.
Yes, he does.
And so, okay. And it's interesting, the symbol of a cross, or in Catholicism it would be called a crucifix, but it's really known as a cross. That symbol precedes Christianity. And the whole point of that symbol is spirit, which is the vertical line, intersecting matter, the horizontal line. And where the two intersect is now, nothingness.
I grew up with a mother who is Catholic, and I didn't really adopt Catholicism that well or take to it, but all of my life I have never heard that about the cross. As many crosses as I've seen on Palm Sunday and the holidays, I have never in my life heard that about the cross, and it makes so much sense. Wow.
Well, truth actually feels like, like you've released a tight corset or something, like, I can breathe again. Thank you. It's spoken of in more of the esoteric stuff, but in Catholicism, their matrix is, let's keep you powerless and really enmeshed in the sorrow and the grief and what we've done as sinners.
The guilt, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and that's their matrix.
It is, but you know what? I've never ascribed a matrix to religion, even though it doesn't jibe with me. I love to be outside of the box. I kind of pride myself on that. And the way that you've explained it just now is really a revelation. That, too, is another part of the matrix, just in a different area, in our spirituality.
Sure.
So you the rat race at work and then still at the rat race in your religious kind of undertaking.
Right. Yep.
Makes so much sense.
Yep. And look, it's a matrix that's very difficult for people to break away from, which is very interesting to watch. Just as a woman or as a mother or as a grandmother, if my son had been abused by any one of those superior people, I would be out of that religion well before they knew what happened.
Right.
So I don't quite get it. I mean, all right, it's one thing to be very forgiving, but really? Move along. That's like a big no.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
Yeah.
Why I appreciate you so much, Elaine. You speak truth to power and speak truth, period. Full stop.
Well, I give it my best shot because we're being harmed by not looking at the truth.
Yeah.
And there's a very interesting, again, it's a very ancient saying, and people are uncomfortable with this. Truth, like matter, is always becoming. It's always larger. So what served me as a 4-year-old cannot serve me now.
Yeah.
And that seems so simple to me. And yet they will hold on to an ancient truth that's got no energy and no life force to it. And it's awfully restrictive. But that's out of fear. So then I go back to, okay, drop it. I'm so big on those two words. Drop it. I don't even go to let it go anymore. That seems almost too wordy. It's like...
Okay, Elaine. One word down.
Jeez. Tell it to sell it. Drop it.
Drop it. I will be adopting that. You always put me on new ideas, and you're right. Mm-hmm. Drop it. The sky doesn't exist. It's not even there.
That's right.
The case for me today. I need to know that. Thank you.
Now, there's one other thing, because you are this, well, you think you're this Leo energy, although, of course, I would tell you drop that as well.
Okay.
Yep. And yes, Leo is associated with royalty. So in this gateway that's about to happen on August 8th, this is an alignment which can be seen whether you're a Leo or a Tom, Dick, or Harry. It doesn't matter what you are. This alignment gives one the opportunity to awaken the royal codes of higher living, which are available to all. And that ties into last week's sermonette about the fact that we're seeding. These seeds are for higher coding.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So it's something very large is open. It's available, but it's not available if you don't have sort of the right consciousness. You can't take advantage of it, and you will continue to live as you have lived. The gateway also creates an incredible period of accelerated ascension, and it's supercharged. Now, what exactly is ascension? No, you will not be lifting up as the good Lord did 40 days after the crucifixion. That's not happening. The ascension is an ascension in consciousness.
Okay. All right. That makes perfect sense.
Of course it does. I mean, what are we thinking? People are going to be lifted off?
Some people think that lifting will be happening.
Yeah, no, I am sorry to burst the bubble. It won't be happening. Because there's nothing to ascend. It doubles back on itself. You're already there.
You're already there.
So as you keep dropping the old belief system, therein is the ascension. And therein is the gateway.
So on August 8th, just aware of that energy.
Yes. Now, remember, it's kind of like Christmas. Sometimes at the Christmas season, you could actually almost say, geez, Elaine, Christmas came and it was a bummer. But 3 days before, oh my God, I was with the family. Everybody was happy. There was no pressure. That was really my Christmas. So give it a, don't tie it down. Don't be so neat and tidy. Don't be such a person.
Don't be such a person. You're right. Yeah, if you see me already locked right back into my little matrix, like, okay, on August 8th, I need to pay attention. Drop it.
At what time on August 8th? Which
Drop it.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. It really is very humorous when I can't even tell you, for the last almost now 18 to 24 months, it's been my creed, just drop it. And the more I do, the funnier it all gets.
Oh, you're right. It's so good. It's always so good to hear a word because drop it. Stop being so human. Amen. I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, who do you think you are? And then you have your elevator speech, which has nothing to do with anything.
Yes, who do you think you are? That's such a humbling reminder that we forget that we are just a speck in the cosmos.
Oh, no. Therein lies, like, that's a Catholic problem. You are not a speck. You are the living radiation of pure light. Doesn't get much bigger, doesn't get much more royal.
Wow. Always shifting paradigm. I guess that's what you mean. I have some things to unlearn. To unlearn. And here I'm thinking I'm so free. Isn't that interesting? I'm thinking I'm so outside of the box and I still am ascribed to that Catholic paradigm. That's fascinating.
Now, there's another thing before I let you get off this phone call, because I hope everybody is paying attention, because although I'm speaking with Monette, there's no Monette, so I'm speaking to you all. So she's the catalyst to pull out your questions. So listen, because especially if you heard the broadcast last week, it really did talk about not only is this a yellow seed year, the final line of this year that we've stepped into, I am a galactic activation portal. Enter me. That's a year-long activation portal. You marry that with a lion's gateway, and this is kind of large. So what the galactic activation portal invited us to do is to enter these gateways of expanded consciousness and amplify our awareness of energy and how it flows, and information exchange. So if you're amplifying information exchange, you better be darn clear about what you are allowing in between those two little ears. Because if you're going to amplify division and separation and hatred and chaos, and if that's where your awareness is, thanks a lot. The planet needs your help.
Okay.
So the other evening, for example, I went for my walk by the ocean, and I could see as I crossed over the bridge a fantastic rainbow. It was just magnificent. By the time I parked and got out of the car, this incredible being of light had done a complete circle around the entire, from one end of the ocean to the other.
Wow.
And I stood there with this knowledge, because it was only a few days after I had spoken about it, so it was very fresh in my mind. And I thought, okay, this is a portal of multicolored energy, light, everything. And I inverted esoterically another rainbow on top of it, so it would look like a bowl, so that this huge influx directed by my consciousness would permeate whatever it was going to permeate. I'm not attached to that. Go do your thing.
But that sounds beautiful, incredible, really. But yes, I can only imagine.
You know, I could have stood there and thought, geez, our president, what the hell is he doing? You know, I could have thought that. It's none of my business. I'm not going to change that, fix it, or help it, or heal it. But I could download energy to the planet. And